Just a beautiful day.
This is such a beautiful day. We haven't even been outside yet.
I know, huh? Whew! Whoa!
What a marvelous day! Hold on, stay right there.
Hey! Hey! What a marvelous day!
You making fun of me?
No, I'm just being you.
Always.
Yeah.
Good.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Arabella.
Painting from our lovely neighbor. Notice how she is both dark and light. Everything is everything.
After all,
And that's just how it goes.
everything is everything. What does that phrase mean to you?
Everything is everything in the sense that everything came from the same thing. God, this energy, this idea, this source of God is everything. God is everything. Source is everything. The life flowing through everything is everything. Like everything is everything. Even if it might not seem like it is the same thing or it correlates, it has maybe the same materials. Like you can put everything in categories, like books or notepads or files. It's all the same thing. It's just paper, it's just trees, it's just ink that all circulates back to connect to everything.
Well, it's all energy.
Yeah.
Like when you go down to the root of every single thing, it is literally the same thing.
Yeah.
It is one thing. What is matter except just the perception? Like we're perceiving something to be matter. As soon as somebody's not there, it's like this the question like, when if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound? If nobody's there to perceive it, sound is only something because we perceive it as sound. But if there's nobody to perceive it, then is it there? Does it exist? Or is it just the illusion? What is consciousness? Because consciousness is something that can't be seen, it can't be touched, it can't be felt. But it's there, it's here, and it's everywhere.
I feel like an illusion and delusion is the same thing, really. You know how like we're all seeing something differently?
Right.
Like none of us see the same thing the same way,
Right.
but we're seeing the same thing. Like you and I are perceiving these potatoes. Like you might think that you're cutting these thin, and I might think that you're cutting them thick, but we're both seeing the same thing. It's all in perception.
You think I'm
So I think that no, I think they're perfect. I think they're perfect, actually. The illusion of perception is a delusion.
So then how would you define reality?
Reality. And then I think of like, it's like real, but it's like a tiny bit of the realness, like itty bitty. You can like rear into a different reality by your mind, by the
choices you
perception.
make,
Yeah.
or by the thoughts that you have. Your
Yeah.
thoughts can take you to a different reality based on.
Yeah. What about when people say, but how do you see that everything is everything with two things that seem like complete opposites? Like rich and poor.
This perspective. What is rich and what is poor? People define those in totally different ways. Like somebody might say they're rich because they have a lot of money. Somebody else might say they're rich because they have a lot of wisdom. It really just depends on the perspective. Something as extreme and as controversial as like terrorism. The people who are committing the acts of terror sometimes think that they're doing the work of God.
Oh, right.
And like other people will think that they're criminals.
Yeah, yeah.
When you talk about it in that way, it's like, yeah, everything is perspective.
To change your perspective is to change your reality, really.
To change your perspective is to change your reality. Lunch is ready. Breakfast time.
It's about time for the egg, yeah.
Pasture raised.
Plant-based, and it's really interesting how eating and what you eat can like really influence your life. You know, like the whole thing, like you are what you eat. Everything is everything. Everything cycles back into itself. For a long time, I was just feeling like, oh no, I don't want to disrespect these animals and disrespect these chickens by taking their eggs, and I wouldn't want my eggs to be taken. And yes, but also, it's like the circle of life. This little egg has so much energy in it. Like, this egg has the ability to grow feathers and eyes and a beak and have the ability to create more eggs. And it's so beautiful. My mind and my body came to a connection and said, Darian, you need chicken. And I was like, no. Then I was like, you know what? But I could do an egg. And maybe one day I will do chicken. But it doesn't feel like that's something that is serving me right now. But I feel like eggs are. I feel like everybody must be mindful of what their body is telling them. Body and mind. Body, mind, soul. They're all the same. You just gotta connect them. Thank you, eggs. It's important to know where you're getting your protein, whereas in what foods, and whereas in where your food is coming from.
Because when you ingest an animal, you're literally ingesting the energy of that animal. If that animal is living in a stressed environment and being tortured literally and all of that, then
Because it's all energy.
Taking that same stressful energy, because it's not like that energy just disappears when the chicken dies or is killed. It's like we store emotions in our muscles.
Emotions, energy and motion.
Energy and motion. Ooh. Yeah, it just goes back to everything is energy. Like, everything in this dimension is just energy at its core. And it's interesting to think about where that energy originates from, what creates that energy originally, and it's like consciousness.
Yeah.
Consciousness and perspective. It's
Right.
all perspective. Yeah, the circle of life, but the way that we as humans have taken this thing and like manipulated it in such a way for our benefit, for only our benefit, and really at the end of the day it doesn't even benefit us because of what the whole stress thing, like,
Yeah.
we've just forgotten, forgetting who we are and what we are.
Who are we?
Love.
Ooh, blueberry patty goes in the oven. And it's also interesting when you think about language. When you think about language and how you can be saying something to somebody in one language, and you know that's what you're saying in your mind, but they're not gonna. But they don't get it because of the way that it sounds to their ears, and then the way they perceive like you telling them that thing. But it's interesting how sometimes you can tell what people are saying, even through a language barrier, just by like the energy that they're putting off.
Yeah.
And you can tell if they're giving like a loving vibe, or like a stressed vibe, or whatever. I love you. Another thing too is the benefit of mindful eating. Especially when you're eating animals or something that has life in it. Everything has life in it, even plants. But to be mindful when you're eating is to like really, really enjoy it and to be present with what it is that you're eating and having this like connection and full experience with it. Smelling it. Tasting it from the tip of your tongue. the back of your tongue and the sides. I'm thinking about all of the life that it's bringing to you and the gratitude that you have for it.